Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your robotic, lifelike hosts. Joining me as always is our other robotic and lifelike host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I feel like robotic, lifelike. Like it's entirely possible that we're actually robots and we're just not telling anybody, you know?
I mean, yeah, like in a Matrix sort of way. I mean, I think... Yeah, that kind of, I mean, like, yeah, that I feel robotic. I do. I don't feel particularly lifelike, and I do feel quite robotic. So, yeah, it kind of adds up. I feel, already I'm speaking here now, and I feel like my voice is pretty fucked. It feels like already bad, but, you know, we'll
to be fair,
get on. We'll see how we go.
Nobody knows this, but Andy's been, like, teaching back-to-back yoga classes, and if you're watching and not listening, he's wearing... We actually coordinated wearing. I should show my arms too. Our yellow shirts.
Yeah, let's get swole.
He's got.
I'm wearing. Do you remember this one?
Pizza and beer from no.
The yoga teacher training.
No.
I'm near certain I had this back then. Yeah.
You probably did. Did you wear it with your? All I can remember is your pineapple shorts.
Oh yeah, pineapple shorts pretty rocked. I mean, like this is a good combo with the pineapple shorts, I must say. So this is good for our audio listeners. They're loving it. They're absolutely loving it right now. No, I feel like my voice is absolutely shredded at the minute because, like, I have been. It's extremely hot over here right now. Well, do you know what the term muggy means?
I do.
Okay, cool. I don't know that was a very British thing. It's been very muggy recently, so just really kind of heavy. It has been humid. It has been kind of gross. So, and I've been teaching quite a lot this week. And I did a first class in a gym. And it was quite big. It was cavernous, I would say. And because of the heat, there was also fans on. So I was having to scream, essentially, at the... which is nice for a nice serene yoga practice, you know?
Yeah.
Get in the down dog! You know, things like that. Even as a joke, I don't want to do that. My throat's angry with me immediately. So yeah.
I sometimes do this like sucking in air laugh and then I'm like, God, I did it again, and then I feel it for like 2 days. I just did it, you know, to make you feel better. And
thanks, I appreciate it. So
now I'm
solidarity in our fuck.
You're hurting, I'm hurting, right?
Yeah,
okay, so the crack is I am back from my trip to Oregon.
Huzzah!
So the first time I visited since we moved to Southern California, we went for 13 days. We saw all the friends. I saw a 6-month-old baby elephant. My best friend's friend like works for the zoo. And so we got like a VIP little tour, and we knew exactly when baby elephant was coming out.
Nice.
It was great. And like they like it was hot out. It was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so they like got them out and threw all of like the frozen celery into this giant pond. And the baby elephant was like just like lolling around and splashing. And it was like the most adorable thing ever.
That rocks.
I saw family. My best friend's girlfriend she does like kitten rescue. So she was like, come over to the house. I have 9 kittens that are like 3 months old.
Wow.
I know. So Harper and I did that, and it was just like laying there just being like covered in kittens.
So good.
I got a private view of Monet's water lily painting from the water lily series, because my sister works for the art museum, and it's cool actually. Like she works for the curators basically. Okay. So they have all these art books based on these artists, and then she's got this I don't remember the dude's name. I'm sorry, my sister. But basically she's got all of his artifacts. And he was, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Monuments Men.
Oh, I know of it, yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of based on this guy's life where during World War II, when the Nazis were either destroying art or stealing art to make this like giant art city, or commissioning people to do like amazing Nazi art.
I see.
This guy was like in the trenches talking to all the different leaders of different, you know, countries around the world, saying like we have to figure out a way to preserve all of this stuff. So it's like I don't know, maybe like 50 boxes of correspondence, photos, his jacket, a bust of his head, like everything from this man's life. And so she's going through all the archive boxes and like has to figure out like what goes and what stays. So that was cool to see. And it's like watching someone have their dream job is always a super bonus. Did not know that was a job.
No, not at all.
Very jealous. So yeah, it was cool. I have an animal fact for you.
Okay.
So we were touring through the Portland Zoo, and our VIP person was like, "Oh, we're in the black bear exhibit," and I was like, "Oh, black bear is so cute," and I was like, and she was like, "Yeah." So sometimes if you look, and she's like pointing to this like 250-foot like sequoia tree or whatever, she's like, you'll see the black bears at the very top of the trees. And I was like, what? I thought you climb the trees for black bear. Or no. I thought with grizzlies, you climb a tree, and then black bears... You act big? It doesn't matter. Yeah. She was basically like, you're fucked either way. She was like, yes. I've seen the black bears like traverse their entire enclosure in like 7 hops, and it's like up mountain terrain, basically, like up a giant hill.
Wow.
Yeah. And I also, have lived in places with black bears mostly in my whole entire life, and like had no idea that they could climb trees. So
that's nuts.
My note is look up.
Yeah, that's good. That is a good one. And I think I remember our bear advice when we were in Canada was essentially like, if they're hungry, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time they're probably going to want to avoid you. But like if they're hungry, yeah, there's probably not a whole lot you can do that's going to scare them away.
Well, and they do the whole hibernation thing. So if they're hungry, it's like they're fucking hungry. It's been, months since they've eaten or whatever, and they're probably like nursing young.
It's true.
Yeah.
So don't go rooting around in random caves.
Or trees.
Or trees for that matter. Or outdoors generally.
Just don't go outside.
Yeah, that's good
well,
advice.
What's the crack with you? It's been 2 weeks since we've seen
it. It has been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yes. So Beth, because while Beth was away in Oregon, I was away on a cycling trip in the Netherlands. I think I talked about that on the podcast before.
Yeah, that you were going, but not...
I was going, yeah.
Yeah. But what happened? Because we hadn't talked.
No, what happened,
it hadn't happened.
It hadn't happened yet, no. So let me think of some highlights. So it was great. So essentially we started off in Amsterdam. We kind of cycled up into North Holland. We kind of took a ferry over to the other, the kind of eastern part of Holland. Mm-hmm. Went to the north of that. There's a place called Friesland. Went to the north of there. Travelled over to an island called Terschelling. Mm-hmm. There we saw...
I'm looking at a...
Yeah, Terschelling was lovely.
I love the language.
The oldest, most complete set of German World War II bunkers is still in existence, which was actually, I do love history shit, but it was really cool. It was really well done.
There was probably art in there that like this guy rescued.
It's quite possible. Mm-hmm. So like there's like lots of like replicated living areas with like pictures of Hitler in the wall. It was pretty intense, but it was pretty great to see all that. We then like came down. And we went to a place called Leeuwarden, and like basically, and we had a nice time there. It was lovely, but we were essentially told, "Do not hang out here. There's nothing fun to do." So we ended up. Everybody pointed us in the direction of a place called Franeker, which was a small town, and in Franeker there is a planetarium. Ooh. In the planetarium, the guy who made it, the guy who kind of built this planetarium, did it in the 1700s. He built a clockwork solar system that accurately predicts the position of the planets and the time. In the 1700s he did this, and You can visit it, you can view it. It's fascinating. It was very, very cool. It was very kind of and it was a lovely wee kind of town just to hang out in as well. Highly recommend that if people are in the Netherlands. And like what was great about it as a cycling trip, I was telling Beth ahead of time, we did about 250 kilometers I think, and we it was a real kind of good proof of concept in terms of I've been wanting to do more bike packing, and it worked quite well. Like I'd be up for more of it. But like a great country because it's very flat. It's very cyclable, but you do get blasted because there is no hills. Wind just hits you. So if it's coming from behind, all good.
You're
if
like,
it's not,
yay, headwinds.
Yes. And every time we got a tailwind, it was like, let's enjoy this while it lasts. Let's not take this for granted because we're only going to get it for like 5k or so. But like, it's kind of remarkable. I mean, I've seen this in Amsterdam. There's canals everywhere, and that's quite cool. But that is throughout the country. Like, so many places, so many towns have houses that like back on to water. So like, so many people have boats. They just, in their back garden, access to a boat, a canal that will take you into canals that run through the entirety of the country. Very, very cool. So yeah, it was a lovely time, and it was a lovely experience. I think trying this out for the first time.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah. So
good for you.
That's been what I've been up.
Were you like starving at the end of every day? Just like, did you
yes.
notice a change in appetite where you're just like, okay?
I was also what was also really great about it was that I was properly physically exhausted every day, and it meant that I had pretty much had a good night's sleep every night, which was huge because like that's not something that always happens for me, So yeah, so it was pretty great. So I definitely want to try more of it. And it's also like I hired a bike over there, and it was so lovely. And it's one of these things you get a nice bike, and then you come back to your own bike, and you're like, do I need a new bike? Do I need to buy a new bike? So I probably will eventually. So that was lovely. The other thing I was going to mention was I went to see Weapons the other night.
Okay, how was it?
Great. It's kind of like sketchy, and like, I mean, it's a horror film obviously, and it's like it's got a lot of comedic elements. It's hard to talk about in detail without spoiling it extremely quickly, because I feel like early on, have you seen a trailer for Weapons, or do you know what it is?
I do. Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it is. So like basically there's something key that is not as omitted from the trailers, which is revealed pretty early on, that kind of allows the story to kind of breathe in some really interesting ways. But it rocks. I really liked his last film. Definitely worth a look.
Awesome. I love Josh Brolin more and more as he gets older.
Oh,
like
he's great in
if people don't, you should follow him on Instagram, because he wrote a book, which I'm going to read actually because of a post he just made.
Okay.
And it's just like a photo of himself from like, I don't know, whatever, like when he was in his 22 years old, and just like this experience that he had based on that photo. But it reads like a Cormac McCarthy novel.
Okay, wow.
It's so well written, and I'm like all about. I know he's had like issues in life, and like,
yeah,
something not so good things that he's done, but he like owns up, like he's sober now, and he's owned up to all of that stuff. Not that it makes it, whatever. Anyways.
No, but yes, a lot of people don't do that, so that's important,
Yeah. So check his stuff out, is all I'm gonna say. If you like,
I mean, he was
reading
also like
cowboy talk.
I mean, I do love some Cormac McCarthy, so
yeah.
I suppose that I was going to say like he I guess he was a child actor as well, which is always a tough thing to.
I mean, he's
come
a
out
Goonie.
Of. He is a Goonie, exactly. Yeah, so it's tough to kind of come out of that and not have some sort of like damage. Unfortunately, trauma. Yeah, exactly. Okay, nice. Do you have any what's occurring for us?
I do. So. You a couple of weeks ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. Time is relative in podcasting. So you held a sneeze back a couple of weeks ago, and somebody wrote in. So some years ago, I attempted to coin a word for this phenomenon of like holding a sneeze in and then losing the sneeze. So calling it a steeze, to be teased by the prospect of a sneeze which tragically fails to complete a climax. I was informed that steez is already a word. Some American street slang for clothing style or some moronic shit like that.
I think I've heard it before.
I know. I went to the trouble of crafting a neat, I'm going to say this wrong and then I'm going to get a correction corner, portmanteau of sneeze and tease. Portmanteau, thank you. No correction corner needed because Andy already did it. An intricate, succinct thing of beauty, only to have it beaten by some incongruous, crude non sequitur. Still a bit mad about it. So thank you.
Love it.
Yep.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Do you have any what's occurring?
I do not.
Okay.
So should we get into our topic?
I have a clarification station.
Oh, wait, hold on.
This is when we were talking about Willow, the movie, the film. Mm-hmm. And I guess I was saying Warwick Davis's name wrong.
Oh, it's Warwick or something?
So, quick bonus tip on British pronunciation. The second W in Warwick is silent. Warwick.
Okay,
There's a town of the same name and a Warwickshire. It's really hard. I'm an American.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have sent this to me.
Same with the town of Berwick. Pronounced Berwick. Work.
Berwick, yeah.
Work.
Berwick.
So it makes no sense. But it's funny because, like, Mike's... I think he's going to start orientation this October. So I'm like, you have to start using U's in all of your spelling. Color favorite.
I will, or I'll get a ruler across his knuckles.
Well, now I'm going to have to clarify to him that you don't pronounce the second W in a word like that's spelled Warwick.
Amazing.
Guys, it doesn't make any sense. So yes, so thank you for letting me know that I was pronouncing that name wrong because I should have figured that out.
Love it. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
As well, at the same time, everyone understood what you were saying. So do we worry too much?
Well, it's like if I ever meet him, which who knows anything ever. So it's like I would be like,
Warwick, how are you?
I
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's a good one. Okay. So shall we move on to our topic?
Yes.
Okay. So we're doing another movie test of time this week. It's Short Circuit. This week, Short Circuit, the movie test of time. Another one that I think was important, probably for both of us. Would it be fair to say?
Yeah.
And obviously we'll talk about this more as we go through this episode. But it was interesting because as I was watching it, I realized that when I was thinking about this film, I'm thinking more about Short Circuit 2.
Oh.
Which is interesting because most of what I was waiting for, I think, is in the second one.
I was doing that too. Okay, yeah. So just a quick synopsis. So this robot named Number 5, one of a group of experimental military robots, undergoes a sudden transformation after being struck by lightning. He develops self-awareness, consciousness, and a fear of the reprogramming that awaits him back at the factory. With the help of a young woman, Number 5 tries to evade capture and convince his creator that he has truly become alive. Da-da-da. So, I was waiting for, Johnny 5 is alive. Johnny 5 is alive.
Yes,
Johnny 5. And I was like, you had to wait until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. It didn't happen for ages. He doesn't even name himself until the very, very end. And I was like, wow, that's so... It felt like such a core component in me.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I was very interested by who the director was because I was like, I saw it at the end. I was like, that's John Badham, and I was like, I recognize that name, and I was like, what do I know that name from? And I don't think it was from what I'd say most people would think, but I mean, I was interested to find out. I don't know, is it nepotism whenever I know this is not the right phrase, but it feels right thematically, where in the film itself he plays clips from Saturday Night Fever that he directed, and I'm like, bro, come on now. But for me, I think the one that I really connected with that he directed was Blue Thunder.
What's Blue Thunder?
I know, right? Blue Thunder is kind of like an Airwolf.
Oh.
I don't know whether they were contemporary or whether this was before Airwolf.
I love the theme song to Airwolf, just gonna say.
Oh, it's so good. But basically Roy Snyder is this sort of police officer who gets to fly this high-tech helicopter basically, and I freaking adored Blue Thunder. But he also did Stakeout. He did.
I loved Stakeout.
So did I. Was
that one Mel Gibson?
Stakeout. No, Stakeout is
doesn't matter.
Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss.
Yep. Oh, I love Richard Dreyfuss.
Do you know he's supposed to be a terrible human being?
Yes, everyone hates him. But he's just so watchable on television and in movies.
He is. I like lots of other stuff as well, but like I also find it fascinating that like I also war games. He is actually a treasure trove of movies that we should probably watch in the future, which is quite good. I was just kind of looking through stuff and was like, yeah. But yeah, like I really one of those guys who's had a really kind of interesting career, and like some legitimate hits with it, but like it seems like he would do anything and everything. He also did Bird in the Wire, which I thought was really fascinating.
We've got a lot. We've got a lot of movies that we're gonna have to not get. We get to go through because like these are all hitting.
Oh, big time! Like there's so many of those. I'm like yes. I've also been thinking about this is a complete tangent. Like, could we do like adult movies? A friend recently was talking about LA Confidential, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to revisit LA Confidential.
I would like to revisit. Someone else mentioned Highlander, so I think
yes.
We'll start a list. And I don't want to necessarily like just limit ourselves to like childhood movies.
No.
It's like I think we can do whatever the
movies
fuck,
from
whatever the fuck we
movies
want.
pre-2000 movies, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know when LA Confidential was made, but
no, it's in the 90s for sure.
Okay.
But like I say, I thought that was interesting. And like again, like a really kind of like Short Circuit feels like an aberration to me, and I was kind of trying to think about what he might have been thinking when he was making it. It really seemed to share a lot of DNA with Flight of the Navigator in my eyes, but it's maybe only because I've seen that so recently. I don't know, and I wondered whether it was influenced by that in any way, shape, or form. But a very interesting film in his like repertoire, I think.
Yeah. So this had 3 writers. So S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock, they seem to team up on a lot of scripts and screenplays. So they did Tremors, they did Wild Wild West, and like Tremors 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4000. And then the other director was Jay Tarsis, who did like Teen Wolf. So like that genre. And I was like, well, what's the like origin story of like why did they decide to come up with this idea? And I guess like the producers had distributed an educational video about robots in like colleges, and then they were like studying for other films with a robot cast, like a Star Wars series or something for inspiration, and they decided to question humanity and the human reaction to a living robot on the premise that no one would initially believe its sentence, like I'm alive. Like how do you prove that?
Interesting.
And that was a lot of the theme of the movie is like this robot Johnny 5 or Number 5 is trying to like tell like how do you learn to talk to tell people that like you're cognizant and you can pass the Rorschach test and laugh at a joke, and like what defines I think like
what defines life, being alive,
what defines being alive. And so I don't really have an answer to that question. Like I don't know if like, and we'll get into AI a little bit more like maybe further down in the conversation, but I don't know if that scientist like gave him the right tests to figure out if he was alive or not. And, like,
one of the notes I made about this is Steve Guttenberg the least convincing scientist, movie scientist of all time? I mean,
right. Like, a scientist who's supposed to not be able to like, he's so smart that he like doesn't know how to communicate with other humans really in like a meaningful way, but it's played by Steve Guttenberg, and I was like, and it says I read someone's like feedback, and they're like, no, it should have been who's the guy that played the college student in The Graduate? Dustin Hoffman should have played that character. Because he just like was like, Steve Guttenberg is so charismatic. He was in the Police Academy movies, right?
Yes.
So he's playing this charismatic guy that like can't figure out how to like kiss a girl or whatever. And it's like,
yes, it's totally, very weird.
It was very unrealistic.
Yeah, so it was just I think that's so yeah. What I wrote down is Goots the least believable smart person ever,
Yes.
and I'm like I stand by that. I think he might be, and with all apologies to Gutenberg, I'm
Right.
sure. I
You're a
hope he's a
lovely
lovely
human.
guy.
Yes, he is actually.
Can I just before we completely go
Yes.
past this?
Yes.
I have a bit of a tangent because you were talking about their writers and some of the things that they did, and one of the things that they wrote was Wild Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know the origin? Because you might be interested in this story of why they fight a giant spider at the end of Wild Wild West.
Is it because they had extra CG left over from like Super Troopers? No.
No.
So far off. Why?
Basically, the producer John Peters had been for years trying
John
to end.
Peters.
Yes.
He's
Had been trying to end a film with a giant spider. He was trying to get a giant spider in Superman films. He tried to get a giant spider in any sort of genre thing, and finally he had enough clout in Wild Wild West to make his dream a reality.
So I read about John Peters when I read the 4,000-page Barbra Streisand. To bring it up. So they weren't married, but maybe they were like partners for I don't know a very long time.
Okay.
And he started off as like a hairstylist, and
yes.
it was like, oh, I can produce movies, and it was like he just kind of like, I don't know, would just put himself in situations where he had no idea what he was doing, and would just be like, I can totally do that. So I'm not surprised that it ended with a giant spider. Whether or not it worked for the film, it's what It's what John Peters wanted.
Amazing, I love it. So yeah,
good fact. I like it.
Right. So, how did you feel about the movie? Like, I mean, did you feel like it felt believable? Did it feel like well constructed?
I think I was thinking like, was it believable? Does it age well? Yeah. Do I believe the world they created? And like, it's not that, I think they had other models that they were using. Like I was thinking about, like this came out after E.T. This came out after the first Terminator. So, like, I think, because I was like, oh, like, they based WALL-E off of this. And then I was like, oh, yeah. No, they based this off of the Skynet robots. Some of the Skynet robots.
True.
From the original Terminator. So it's like, again, like, what's original? Nothing. But, yes, it's believable that there's, like, some government agency in, like, Washington that's building robots to just, to blow up these tanks in the poppy field.
Absolutely. I know, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love that as a piece of imagery.
So the intro is like just like a poppy field, and then all of a sudden like it's like all these tanks are like rolling over, and these robots pop up with like laser eyes, and they're like blowing up all the tanks, and the kids are like, "Is that real?" And I was like, "Are those real people?" And I was like, "No." And then you realize they're really not, because they like fall over and they're like plastic humans.
I like. The opening as well is like really kind of industrial music of like just these machines getting built was just like, you just could not get away with that these days. It was so wild. It was just completely like functional. They also just didn't introduce the actors in any kind of major way. They just were like, here's who produced this, here's who did this. And it's like, that's also insane to me, because it's just so, it's so actor forward these days with movies,
I was a little like sad. I missed, like, I was like looking at the intro, and I was like, I appreciate that they get right to the story. It's about robots. What's happening. Yep. The robot gets hit by lightning very quickly, but it made me like nostalgic for the Flight of the Navigator and the Frisbee dogs.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I think it's believable. I think if they made it now, it would probably be an animated film.
I think that's fair.
But I liked that it was live action very much.
Yes. And I should say that I think Johnny Five's look, design is incredible.
Yeah, agreed. And they, like the way that they use, like he has like blinders on his eyes, but they use that to show emotion, and I think that was a very creative way to go about doing that.
Agreed.
So yeah.
But yeah, like yeah, it's interesting because like I felt like I one of the things I'm loving about revisiting so many of those old films is like they're all about 90 minutes, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want in a film. Tell your story, get out of here.
Yeah.
Don't keep me hanging around.
3.5 hour.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner something.
I mean, I do kind of want to see that 3.5 hour Kevin Costner thing, but anyway, so but it was good. So it was good, it was in and out. But like, I felt like going through it, it was. I think by the end I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this to wrap up.
I was a little bored. I got up and left the room, even though I should have been paying attention and taking notes.
It's fine.
But I was
okay. Speaks to the movie.
Yeah. So I feel like I think I don't know. There was something missing, and I was trying to figure out what that thing is. I was like, they've got all the pieces, right? But it's not. But I don't have that same feeling that I have for E.T. or Wall-E
or even Flight of the Navigator. I think. Do you know what I mean? I think it did. It's a different thing, but it has some connective tissue, and I think it's a way more successful film.
Yeah, but I was like, I think part of it was honestly I didn't care about the characters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I was thinking through okay, which actors did I like, and it's okay, they were fine.
Yep.
But I just wonder if it had been a different cast, if it would have been different, and I didn't, that a character that I of all people should have identified with was this lady who's saving animals. Oh, right.
I've written down she was very Beth coded. I know. I said Stephanie is a crusty, real S Ventura vibes here.
I know. I was Stephanie is my hero. So, okay, I have a fact. She's got. Sorry, gotta go.
Is this her animal figures?
Yeah, her animal. Yeah. So Stephanie's menagerie consists of several kittens, a skunk, a ferret, several goldfish, an ant farm, 2 bunnies named Adriana and Norman, a raven, chickens, ducks, sheep, goats, and Beasley the 3-legged dog. I liked Beasley the 3-legged dog more than any other character in the movie.
That's fair, actually. I mean, I think, Johnny 5 is in the run as well. I like Johnny a whole lot, but nobody else I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have liked Ali Sheedy, who played Stephanie in other things, but she just didn't. She wasn't bringing the heat here in a lot of ways, which is a shame because I do like her, and I think she has some fun moments. She has some fun moments with him, especially whenever he with Johnny, whenever he's she's trying to teach him stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not wonderful. I also have a note in terms of actors. I've written down Fisher Stevens - yikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Fisher Stevens is playing an Indian man, and
yes,
with the whole darker skin. I don't want to say blackface, but
so Fisher Stevens is a white actor. Just to be clear,
he's a Jewish white
actor, right?
Yes,
okay,
yes, yeah.
And he has
and
essentially,
his,
I suppose, blackface.
Him, yeah,
yes,
and his head is disproportionate to the size of his neck.
It's true.
I'm always how does it stay on there? Because there's no neck; it's all head. Lovely actor. Always love seeing him, and that's just not a nice thing to say. But So he definitely has blue eyes, wore contact lenses. He's been interviewed since, and it sounds no one's mad about it, but he recognizes that if it was a different time, then they would cast someone.
Yes.
Appropriately.
It feels wild that it's only 30? No, nearly 40 years now. Jeez, okay. I mean, but that's late 80s, and it was still doing that sort of thing.
So 86, 30 years, 40 years. Can't do math.
And I suppose
don't want to feel old. Shh.
No, exactly. And it's one of those things where it's they're working actors. Sometimes it's you need to pay the bills, and sometimes you take jobs you really don't want to take otherwise. There's an amazing, not amazing, I've never seen it, I've only seen the trailer for it. Gary Oldman in the early 2000s did a movie where he portrayed a short gentleman. Do you know about this?
No. He's portrayed all the things that shouldn't be portrayed.
And he has...
No.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. Tiptoes. It's called Tiptoes.
Oh, gosh.
And I know... It's
Okay.
horrifying. The trailer
Okay.
is wild and it's worth watching. And he was interviewed about that recently, and he's like, "Look, you have to understand. I got divorced. It was in the middle of a writing strike. I had 2 young kids to look after. I was in very bad shape. I was close to nervous breakdown, and this work came along, and I did what I had to do under the circumstances. But wild, absolutely wild. But Matthew McConaughey, it plays his full average, normal, not normal, average size brother. Yeah, it's insane. It's
Wow.
insane.
Is
So yeah,
this
if you're
like post Dazed and Confused? I feel like Dazed and Confused was like Matthew McConaughey's first role, but I might be wrong.
it came out 2004, so this is
Oh,
probably
wow.
post Days and Confused, right? I mean, that's only it's only about 20 years ago. It's absolutely insane.
I get,
So, yeah.
you know, it's like people do worse things for money.
Yes, they do.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I
mean,
don't
like,
know.
you know, I don't ever want to watch that film, but absolutely wild. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. So yes, Fisher Stevens, that is one of the part of the film that has really aged
Yeah.
awfully,
Yeah.
I think, and really kind of like hangs over the whole film because it is played for laughs. Like his character is kind of comedic relief, and every part of that feels grim because of the nature of what's happening there. You know.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember, like reading through some of the facts and, you know, stories about this, I get the sense that it was a creative choice that they made. It wasn't originally supposed to be played by a man from India, but they wanted that cultural contrast to add
Yes.
to the humor element. And that was a choice. That was a choice. I would also say things that didn't hold up or work very well were like the bad sex jokes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And like, did you get it? You know, like they're like, you know, it's just like, you know, the Indian man is like trying to like tell the white man how to, you know, get in with a lady, and they're kind of, it just doesn't work at all. I don't
No.
even think it worked then.
It's like one of those things that's like there's like I remember like somebody describing some of the things that happens in Porky's, and people are like, what? Like jokes and stuff that people pulled in
It's like
Porky's, and it was
meatballs
just
or Porky's or like, you know, not endless summer of, what's the
it
summer
was like
movie?
all of these things were
Wet
like
Hot American
these.
Summer.
Oh yes, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Wet Hot American Summer's kind of playing with that though, but like there's things from back then that were just like, gee, some of these jokes are actually criminal now looking back, and it's just talked about in such a way that it's kind of like, oh no, I don't like any of this. This is grim.
I'd also say there was no bad guy.
There wasn't, like, I think the closest to that was Schroeder, the security guard,
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
chief of security, and he is like, I recognize him immediately as just a kind of like he was the like asshole in like
Police
80s
Academy
movies. Like I think
movies.
he was in Police Academy. He was also in, I feel like he was in Happy Gilmore, wasn't he as well, or something like that? But like he's just like the guy who's going to be like a hard ass who
Yeah.
just gives people shit. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, you know his face immediately.
So can we talk about artificial intelligence?
Sure.
So this was like basically like a movie in a happy way talking about what would happen if, you had a non-sentient being that becomes a sentient being, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, where did artificial intelligence come from originally?
Okay.
So it goes back thousands of years to, like, you know, cool, hip, ancient philosophers. So they made things called automatons, which were mechanical and moved independently of human intervention. So it's Greek. It means acting of one's own will. One of the earliest records of an automaton comes from 400 BCE and refers to a mechanical pigeon created by Plato. And then, like, Leonardo da Vinci made a whole bunch of, like, these different... I saw one, actually. It was the lion that has, like, roses that it spits out of its mouth. It's this huge... It's fucking cool. If no one has seen it, just, like, Google it. And it actually walks on its own. So he was doing that, you know, in, like, the 1400s, 1500s. So the idea of, like, an idea of the machine being able to function on its own is ancient, but, like, for the purpose of, this conversation, it's more, like, 20th century. The field of AI research was founded at a workshop held on Dartmouth campus
Okay.
in 1956.
Wow.
Yeah. And many of them predicted that machines as intelligent as humans would exist within a generation. So.
Okay. Not far off. I mean, they're getting there now.
Yeah.
And I do think one of the things it does really well is it's quite prophetic in terms of like, you know, where we're at now. You know, there's a lot of like AI obviously has come on quite far. You know, it's holding quasi-realistic conversations with people. Also, there are lots of like robots. I mean, there are definitely some being designed for military purposes, but like, you know, there's robots that can do a ton of different stuff now, you know, but it was really ahead of its time in that way.
I agree. And like, I was trying to think of, and I'm probably not thinking of any, but like, this is really kind of the first time that it was like made for the general public to, like, kids and, you know, like, cool, robots alive, that'd be so cool.
It's true. That's true, and I loved it. Like, and I mean, I think that's why it's so consequential for me as a kid, because I loved sci-fi. I loved all that sort of stuff, and it was really like, I loved the idea of a robot being alive. You know, I thought that was such a cool idea,
and like being your best friend and wanting to live with you forever.
Oh yeah, that was so
and cook you breakfast.
I mean, he can't cook me breakfast. That would be nice. I wouldn't make him because he's alive, right? If he wants to make me breakfast, I wouldn't say no. But no, I don't. I'd want to like sit with him the first time because I see Johnny making breakfast and I'm like, I don't want your eggshell pancakes, thanks very much, bro.
No.
You know.
Or your hash browns that he didn't take out of the box.
No, exactly. I mean,
but it's I think he was reading like Joy of Cooking or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, they don't say take it out of the package.
They don't. Exactly. He's just doing his best. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask, because like I'm sure you would know, the film is set in Oregon.
Yes.
Do you recognize? Because like there was
do
one.
Do you recognize?
I do.
What part?
Because the place that they had the sandwiches was the place that you took me, wasn't it?
They were up.
Yes, they were up high. So
Gutenberg
and Fisher Stevens were eating sandwiches at that big like.
Yes.
We did. I did recognize that.
Like, Andy, whenever there, because I was like, we're. I feel bad because we're watching all these movies now, and I never took you to fucking Astoria. That's like Kindergarten Cop, The Goonies. I didn't realize that this had been filmed in Astoria, but I was like,
okay.
I think that's the Astoria Bridge. Mike's like, yep. Like peeks his head in, and I'm like, and then the whole thing, and then I'm like, oh, that's California, and like that's clearly like, so it's definitely Astoria, and then I was like, why was it so? They've filmed quite a few movies there, and I just don't know like why, but I guess it's just like they want a hillside, you know, town with a big bridge that's, you know, got some. You know,
it's a cool
80s
bridge.
looking. Yeah, it's so tall that Mike won't go across it. He's like gets scared of heights. You probably wouldn't like it either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was it far away from where? Because we went to the beach. Was it far from there?
It's like probably I mean, you can drive it, but it's probably like 3.5 hours from where we were.
Okay, that's a long journey. Yeah.
But like if you're going from Portland, it's only like 90 minutes.
I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll happen. We'll take you there at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Yep.
No, I thought that was cool. So I definitely, so like basically, so
I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah, I definitely did. I made a note of it immediately. It's like I recognize this place.
Yeah.
So like, do you think probably it was all filmed in Oregon then?
No, definitely not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I know because like you can tell the terrain and like if it's grassy and that like if there's any grass, then it's filmed in Oregon. And then the military truck is like driving and her like truck at the end is like speeding and it's just like dirt clouds and I was like that's Southern California, so you can tell, you know, they definitely had multiple locations for the shoot.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was it was a popular movie at the time, right? Because I mean I remember it being a big deal as a kid.
Yeah.
I remember, I mean obviously it did well enough that it got a sequel.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was very popular and I feel like it did well. It certainly did well in the UK as far as I know.
It was super popular. And I remember like going to people's houses and they'd be like, let's watch Short Circuit.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it the first time being like, okay. And then I think it was just like that repetition. And maybe I didn't want to watch it always. And I was like, okay, I get it. You know, but it was like, I think it was just really popular amongst our age demographic.
Absolutely.
Just because, you know, like Flight of the Navigator, Well, I don't know. I don't know because there were no kids in it, but it's like Johnny Five is like a child, right? And I think maybe
Yes, this
that's
is so
what
true.
we connected to as children.
Yeah, I think he really, and like, I think that was the thing that really, like, that was the biggest connection for me between that and Flight of the Navigator was whenever the ship got scanned his brain and became like all sort of like, you know, half human, and he fully lent into the like Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman of it all.
Right.
Character wise, they felt quite similar, which I really loved. You know.
Yes. Speaking of Paul Rubens, I watched. Did I tell you this? I watched a documentary
Mm-hmm. No,
about Paul Rubens. It's so good. You watched it, didn't you?
I haven't watched it. No.
Oh my god, you should watch it.
Okay.
Please watch it.
Like, it's interesting because like Pee Wee Herman, I'm aware of it just because like I freaking know loads about the US and like TV shows and stuff. But Pee Wee Herman wasn't as big a thing over here. I don't think it was shown in the same way. But I know that like in the US, beloved, Pee Wee's Playhouse was beloved basically across the country.
He became a controversial figure.
I know he did. Yeah.
And I think it's like watching the documentary. I could see what a creative genius he was, and he was vilified. And everybody can Google why, but you know, like, I can't even. They went after him, and they didn't need to, and they did it multiple times, and there was no reason for it.
No.
And it's like I am pissed off now about because he's so good in this. He's so good at being himself.
Yes.
That I'm like, we missed out on so much because he was in hiding.
Yes, and I think because I know that like I've heard like folks who work in comedy who've talked about who have a relationship with him and say how good he was about remembering people's birthdays and staying in touch with people, and he was very, and like he just sounds like a kind individual. But like I also get how that somebody who is kind and putting forward a positive message could be seen as being dangerous to certain parties, so they want to shut that down, and it really sucks that he got treated that way.
And that was part of Pee Wee's Playhouse was, you know, letting everyone be themselves and knowing that whoever you are, and that's okay. That was basically the message. And no one liked that message at the time. So no one ever likes that message. So
no, they don't. They don't pay the same. Conform.
Right.
We do love it. We love it. Yeah.
So what did you learn from watching?
I think that like it. I think as I was saying earlier, I think I have more memory of the second film. I think that it. I really did find kind of Johnny's journey kind of fun. I thought it was I thought it was a bit too slow paced, and I thought there was a lot of other bullshit. But I guess they have to like pack it out and do a full film. But I did really find his journey into like personhood quite compelling, nevertheless, and him learning things. And I thought like it was a real sort of like fish out of water sort of stuff, you know, which I think is really resonant whenever you're a kid as well, because you're just trying to figure stuff out as well. So you see a lot of yourself in that, you know.
Yeah.
I could really see why I loved it so much as a kid, but I do think it feels a bit baggy. I think there's major problems with it. I think, like you say, most of the human cast are kind of like, don't seem super engaged with it, don't seem super connected to the material or their characters or anything like that. But yeah, I think everything about Johnny Five in particular is so great, and it really is, as the center of the movie, is absolutely just wonderful, you know.
Okay. I just have an idea that I will come back to. Okay, so I wrote down something that I'm disagreeing with myself about. I wrote, we were much more amenable to AI back in 1986, and now I'm like, no, we weren't.
Absolutely, no,
we're much more amenable to it now, because they created it, and then, you know, now it's a thing, and no one got to say yes or no kind of thing.
Yeah.
So... or maybe people said no and no one listened.
Well, very possible.
Yeah, but like overall, yeah, I think I'm learning more about, like, as I'm like watching things more critically and like with a less like lazy eye. I do think cast matters, obviously, but I really think that, yeah, like caring about characters and what happens to them is like key to a good film and a successful film in terms of like longevity.
Yes. So true. I think that's so true. I think that, yeah, had it not been for the kind of incredible robot design and that work, it probably quite easily could have slipped through the cracks and been like a pretty big bomb, you know.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because, like, as I say, that's such a that core aspect is so wonderful, you know.
Yeah, agreed. And then I don't, because like every movie now I'm like, was ILM involved in that Industrial Light and Magic? And they were not. So they really did like very basic. Now I'm just like blah blah blah, but they did very basic. Yeah. At one point, my son was like, I can see the strings when he moves his arm, and I was like, you can. That's so cool. You notice that, you know. But also like you can see the strings.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So, I have some facts.
Okay. Hit me.
So, the sound of number 5's laser firing is the same effect as the Ghostbusters proton packs powering up.
I can
hear
hear
heard
that,
it,
yeah.
and I was like, I love that sound. And I didn't think why, because, yeah, so that's something I didn't know, but, like, reading that, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So the house that was Stephanie's house still exists. And it just sold in November of 2019 for $340,000 US.
Is it legitimately beside the bridge?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like there's so many houses that are beside the bridge because the bridge is so fucking big.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So half the town is under the bridge.
It's cool. It's a cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool set and it looks great.
Yeah. So guess how much. So okay, the budget was $15 million. How much would you think it would cost to make Johnny 5? Like, how much would you be like, well, I'm going to need blah, blah, blah to make this robot?
I'd say it's not going to be cheap, but I'm going to say, I think about it, I'm thinking about obviously in the time that it was filmed, and I'm going to say $1 million.
Close. $1.4 million.
Not bad.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're in the wrong industry.
We are in the wrong industry, I know. That's hey, worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. The best money they spent that movie.
Yeah. So you touched on this, so I want to touch on it again because I think this needs to get added to our list. But the director, John Badham and Ali Sheedy worked together in War Games. Yep. So I love that movie.
Yes, that's on the list as well.
I bought the DVD because I was like, this is one to keep forever. Okay, those are my facts.
No, they're good. I like it. So
it also it gave the location of the house, which I don't feel comfortable sharing on this podcast.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure people can find that out if they really need to.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think? Well, I mean, I suppose we can talk about this whenever we give our final sort of view on it. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. Actually, all right. Before we get to that,
yes,
I really need to do my section. You know, the important one, the thing that everybody's clamoring for, which is Too Legit to Fit. Who had the best outfits in the movie? This was a tough one because everybody dressed terribly. I really kind of wish Johnny had some sort of cool outfits every now and again. Like, this is why I wish it was Short Circuit too, because it would be Johnny hands down. Punk Johnny rocks, right? Yeah. Anyway, so reluctantly, I've got to give it to Stephanie. I mean, she did have some great. Yeah. She did have some good, cowboy boots with skirts and dresses and stuff. So I think hers was probably the best bet. But again, it was slim pickings in that movie. For
I would
sure.
say there was a scene where Johnny 5 lasers off the boyfriend's hat bill and the bottoms of his cowboy boots and his belt buckle and took apart his Plymouth or Pontiac Trans Am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Incredibly fast time he took it apart. I did admire how quickly he took that car apart.
I know. Mike was like, fucker.
Yeah. I'll get you Johnny Five.
Yeah. So I would agree with you.
So,
but it's hard when it's like a bunch of government workers and then like Steve Gutenberg in a suit.
Yeah, like it's mostly guys in suits. This is the thing, or guys in security uniforms. I mean, it's, as I say, it's tough going. I mean, like some of the disguises in the Black Bear bar, or whatever, were quite good fun. But like, that's
true. I forgot about that.
That's about as good as it gets, So it was like, very disappointing.
Like, apart from that guy, and he's dressed like a cat. Yeah.
But
they went with whatever's stereotypical.
Exactly. But yeah, so Stephanie gets it reluctantly,
reluctantly.
A small W for the win there, but still a W nevertheless, and take it with pride.
Yes.
But
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna propose something. So remember. What's the other R that was nicer than reject that you said?
Oh, I've just refuse.
Refuse. I'm gonna add redo.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay,
refuse, redo. So we're just gonna rate these on whether. Redo actually complicates things for me.
I know. Because, okay, what's your answer now? Fucker.
No, I think I was going to classify it as remember because I don't think but I it's almost close to a refuse for me because I find the whole sort of Indian character so offensive.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It was really bad.
And I think that
it's one of the main three main characters, so it wasn't it's just popped in and out.
No. I couldn't sit down with somebody who's never seen this before and hey, let's watch this movie because they would be like, what the fuck are you making me watch here? This is insane.
The kids were like, it sounds like Apu. Is it Apu from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
And I was so we had to have this long conversation.
Yes.
About how Mike's like, do you know how many millions and millions of people live in India? And this is a whole you can't. One character does not represent a whole population of people,
nope.
Nor does this white Jewish man. So,
I think I'm part of me is leaning towards redo because I would love to see a modernization of this. I would like to see a reinterpretation of this idea, but I think I'm going to stick with remember. If you have fond memories of it as a kid, I think just enjoy those and
I would
maybe not worry too much about going back.
Yeah, I would remember. I would not recommend revisiting.
No.
Granted, it's only 90 minutes, but I feel a little like I could have spent those minutes doing something else. Yeah,
it does feel a bit leaden. It's not, the story isn't good. It kind of meanders all over the place. There is some fun bits. There really is, and I think Johnny's story is compelling, but I think the rest of it is just not there. It's just not.
But I think what could happen if you were to redo, because I do think there's still something there, is combine the story of 1 and 2.
Yes, absolutely. And I think there is, there's meat in the bone there, in terms of there is some fun ideas in there that you could have fun with in a modern setting. But, yeah, by and large, if they ever do anything with it, I think I'll be fine with that too.
Same. Okay.
So, so remember it, folks.
Or not.
Or just whatever. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, I love it. Okay. So, do you have anything else to add, Beth, or should we move on to our final wee section?
I think we can move on to our final wee section.
Love it.
That was the worst accent. I'm sorry.
You're gonna get fired.
Sorry, everyone. I deserve it.
Okay. Beth, what's been bringing you joy this week?
I feel really healthy.
Love it.
Even after traveling.
Hell yeah.
So I guess I'm just I feel unstoppable, which I haven't felt in almost a year. So I'm fucking loving it. I can do all the things. I'm trying to get 10,000 steps. School starts next week, and we just got home yesterday, but I was able to do all the things. And there were moments where Mike's like, okay, I'm going to take the kids to, do this whatever thing. And I was like, my old brain was like, you should rest. And then I was like, no, enjoy yourself. Go have fun. And I did. And
Absolutely.
I had a great time. So.
Love it. That's what I'm talking about.
So.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
It's amazing how life changes when you feel good in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think a lot of people take that for granted, and everything is working, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's hard not to sometimes.
Yeah,
but
it's true. How about
you? Mine is, and it kind of tied in with being away, is just being outside. I have my grumbles with it for sure, but it was lovely being outside for a long time. It was lovely just experiencing a country outside for a lot. Just stumbling across things, and you're just like, wow, let's just stop and have a look at this. I mean, I do end up spending a lot of my life outside anyway. I think I am glad that has become the case with what I do for work. I don't want that to change. But yeah, it is genuinely really beneficial, I think, for both my physical health and my mental health. But yeah, being outside, everybody, it kind of rocks.
Yeah. Get out there in the muggy weather.
Get out there. yeah. Wait till there's a thunderstorm, yeah.
I know. We had muggy weather this morning. I opened the curtain and normally it's blue sky and it was cloudy and I was oh no, here we go. Walk out and you just start perspiring.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so grim. So grim.
Yes.
All right. Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at bendypodcast.com.
Love it. All right. In that case, we have come to the end of our episode. And as always, we'd like to remind you to stay bendy.
Did that hurt your voice?
It did. I was going to say, now time for me to not speak for about 24 hours.
Yay!
Hooray! All right, we love you.
Love you. Bye.